Hey guys, Camfree15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another episode review of My Home Hero, as we're talking about the craziness that is My Home Hero. I believe I missed last week's episode review too. I just got to double check on that, because I believe I did an episode review on episode 10. I just didn't do an episode review on episode 11. No, I didn't do an episode. My bad. Yeah, I didn't do an episode on episode 10. Hold on. I gotta pull it up. Jeez Louise. No, I would have done. I would have done something. Home Hero. Oh, I didn't do episode 10, and I just watched episode 11. So I didn't do an episode 10, along with this episode review today, and, man, this thing was spicing up. We kind of get the understanding of how, Kasen was able to break into the house, and it was pretty much obviously thanks to, Tetsuo's, I guess, smartness of reading these novels and things like that. But she pretty much had these devices, this climbing ladder device to help with obviously getting into Kyotaro's place and everything. And it was actually pretty interesting. It was kind of a little thing of working on both sides of the front. So that one moment where we saw where Tetsuo wasn't supposed to look at the safe, well, he just went over to the window and unlocked it so Kasen could get in. And the thing is, we saw it to where Kasen was pretty much kind of being a stealthy thief-like person, using ladders, going over the barricading and things like that. And even when the code password, because I was like, okay, the code password, that would be freaking interesting, to say the least. And the fact that, well, they use pretty much a light to show, like, oh, where the fingerprints were at. Very smart idea right there, which means it pretty much gave away, like, okay, these are the buttons you press, and pretty much Kasen had to deduce, okay, what is the said outcome. Now, obviously, the thing now, I was like, all right, she just got to keep pressing buttons, and even if she fails, well, boom, she has to continue to try. But the one interesting thing they added to this whole thing was it's kind of like cell phones nowadays. When you're trying to access somebody's passcode on their phone, you know, if you are really truly anything on like any website now, you know, you have like a certain amount of attempts you can try, and if you don't, well, either you got to reset your own password, or you'll get locked out, or you'll be timed out, and there'll be like a time delay. And when she did it the first time, it's like a 10-minute time delay, and pretty much she knows I don't have time to wait to mess up on every password, and then get a time delay or wait for 10 minutes, because that's gonna take up too many time with all these, like, and she pretty much thought in her head like all the different combinations. So it was pretty much kind of like, okay, doing this number, but I do like this different combination a few times. Like, if I forgot the numbers, but you know, just rearranged it. But again, it would take too damn long. So how does she friggin' break the code? She just prays to God. That's pretty much it. And in a way, she kind of just got lucky that she got the password. So we obviously see how everything that was put in, the laptop that was put in and everything. So we cut back to the present about that. Pretty much, I predicted what I thought. Pretty much, the crooks just let Tetsuo go. They're like, listen, as long as you just don't freaking say anything, I guess we'll leave you alone, you know, and things like that. So I'm like, okay, he's getting out of this alive. But knowing that, like, okay, there's like, at the time, I'm like, there's like 2 more episodes left in this show. I think the show's like either 12 or I think the show's 12 episodes long. I'm like, okay, if there's 2 episodes left in this show, something's got to happen to at least increase drama for the next 2 episodes. for some odd reasoning. And well, you get your drama. Now, for some odd reason, you know, you would think this gang organization would immediately kill Kyotaro, like, on the spot. And pretty much, they don't do that. He escapes and he fights for his life. Obviously, you're going to fight for your life if your life's on the line. You're not just going to give up. You're going to do whatever you can to try to live. Now, he does have, like, an injury to his, like, abdomen area, so it's hard for him to get away. So he pretty much goes through this goose chase, and he goes up the way to where Kasen went in to get, and as he's traversing that area, he sees these cracks, where she was climbing over. That was the part in the flashback where she almost fell, or the thing almost dropped, and she made noise, and so I was just like, oh no, now he's gonna have some sort of weirdly evidence to freaking try to frame it. So we just have it to where then Tetsuo, he just went, he was so exhausted from everything, he ended up going to his daughter's place and sleeping in there for, like, I guess 7 hours, a few hours, I don't know how long, a few hours, until we pick up the events in episode 11, which was today's episode. And then, of course, oh my goodness, of course, Kyotaro, he starts calling Matori, which is Nobuto's dad, and he's like, listen, I have an interesting proposition. I think it's Tosu Tetsuo that killed your son. Picking up until episode 11, he continues and he pretty much lists down some of these things that he's obviously suspecting Tetsuo of doing, but he doesn't have any clear-cut evidence. But we just truly see how crazy Matori is, because he's just like, well, I don't give a crap if it was you or Tosu Tetsuo. I'm going to find the person who killed my son, and I'm going to kill them. So, in a way, I feel like that conversation didn't exactly go the way he wanted it to go. Because he was, like, I guess, hoping to work with him. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Kyotaro. I don't know if this means he's going to go after Tetsuo and try to kill him, or maybe his family, or something else. I don't know, because that's the last we see of him in this episode. So there's the thing, and again, if I check, let me check actually real quick. How many episodes does my home hero have? It will have 12 episodes, so next week will be the series finale, because it feels like it just will be this one shot. So maybe he reappears in next week's episode, and I guess maybe the one other thing is, in order to save his family, you know, either one of two things is going to happen. The organization is going to catch Kyotaro, because we saw how the boss pretty much, you know, I guess he either killed or he punched the hell out of the people who were watching over Kyotaro. So maybe one of three things might happen. What is it? Maybe the dude goes out and goes find Kyotaro. Kyotaro has some sort of last interaction with Tetsuo after he gets out of this situation, which I think he is going to get out of this situation, which I'll talk in a bit. And maybe Tetsuo is going to have to, in order to completely save his family, he's going to have to kill Kyotaro to do it. Or maybe Kyotaro is like, you know what, screw this. They're after me, I might as well kill them. And he actually goes to the boss's area, and he probably kills the boss, and he kills the head of the organization. Because I guess the two main heads of the organization, which are Matori and the main boss guy, if we're suspected to think that Matori more than likely is going to go to jail, and then obviously Kyotaro actually goes and tries to kill the boss, well then I guess Kyotaro and Tetsuo will get away scot-free, and they don't have to worry about anything else. Now, I don't know where that's going to go, so we'll see where that whole point is going. But, you know, you just have it to where eventually Tetsuo, he pretty much wakes up a few hours after he went to sleep, he got a text from Kasen saying like, "Oh, when are you coming home?" And I guess they saved like a big feast for Tetsuo to come home to. Even though I don't eat those types of foods, it looks good. But obviously, I feel like this is like a celebration for Kasen's throwing, so she can celebrate her husband getting out of this very testy situation that he was in, and they can all go back to being a normal family. She can go back to living in her. The daughter can go back to living into her apartment and things like that. But before he looks like he's about to leave, he sees these two individuals coming. Now they showed them. It's funny because the silhouette forms, they make it look like it's Kasen and Reika, but it isn't. It's actually Matori and this other goonie from the organization. Pretty much Matori's like, listen, get the hell out of here. I don't want to see your face. Go home, pretty much. And Matori, he freaking goes in. Now, Tetsuo does pretty much the same thing as he hides in the closet area. And pretty much Matori, he's looking throughout the house to see, okay, is there any evidence pretty much here? And he goes to the bathroom. Like, he remembers what Kyotaro was telling him. And everything. He goes to the bathroom, the toilet, checks to see if there's any, like, like blood residue from the area, and there's nothing. We know Kasen went back to the house to just clean it even further down. He does see blood on the toilet seat, but then Matori was like, nah, that one, like, yeah, this could be Kyotaro's blood, but then again, this is the house of this is an apartment room of a woman, so yeah, and obviously, think about it, especially if you're a woman. What do you typically have? Like, I wouldn't even know. I have them, I have my sister, but, the things that flares up in their areas, which I won't, it's too TMI, too much information, but, the P word, I guess you can say. So, obviously that was smart deduction by him, but then when he freaking walks, he sees like blood residue that's on the hard floor, and he starts trailing it, and then he sees pretty much the remains or the blood that is left of his son, and pretty much he just starts crying. He starts just saying, yeah, Nobuto, I'm here, and I'm just like, what the hell? And then because of it, because he's on the ground, the flashlight pretty much rotates over to the closet area, and the closet area has blood on it too. Now, I feel like this is the only slip up that this is the only slip up that Tetsuo did. Now, this is just my recollection. I understand. I would probably not, and I said it in the past few episode reviews, I wouldn't even think to do any of the things that this guy was doing. But the one slip up that this guy did, you go into the bathroom and you clean up the floors and everything to get rid of the residue, the blood, everything he did. You never even thought to say, I probably should clean the area to where he was bleeding too. The hard floor, you would think you would disinfect the entire place. But no, he doesn't. Tetsuo didn't. And it kind of gave it away. He should have freaking cleaned the closet up, behind the closet, got everything. But obviously he didn't. Now, that also could be because he can't really clean up the residue of the blood, and the stain's just gonna be there. Who knows? But again, correct. If you want to put in the comment section, like, hey, he could have probably cleaned up that area too if he just had focused a little bit harder on that area, please. And things like that. So yeah, anyways, Matori opens up the closet, and in the meantime, while he's doing all this searching, anyways, Tetsuo is thinking like, okay, what to do? And I'm just like, dude, just stay calm, stay in the freaking thing, don't make a peep. And if he leaves, he leaves. Well, obviously the flashlight is giving things away. He opens up the blinds. Tetsuo is there hiding in the freaking closet. I'm just like, okay, what are you going to do now? What? I'm like, just find a way to lie yourself out of this situation. But I guess it's Tetsuo's conscience felt bad, so he just absolutely tells the truth. He's like, it's my fault. I did this. It's all on me. I am the one that killed Nobuto. And I'm just like, what the hell? You did this entire time and not telling the truth. And then all of a sudden the guy's dad's right there. And now your guilty conscience like, yeah, let's tell the truth to this guy. Come on, man. I would have been trying to lie my situation out of it. Albeit, I still think the same events would have happened, that he would have probably got beaten up. It's just Matori would have never got any information about him and said, hey, I was just... And all Tetsuo could have done was saying, like, listen, after everything that happened with Kyotaro, I just came back here because it was the closest place and I needed some sleep. And then I heard barging in, you know, I heard, you know, the door trying to get unlocked and I hid in the closet. I had nothing to do with what you're seeing right now. So, you know, that's kind of the thing right then and there. Why he blurted out the truth, I had no clue. Now, the thing is, he pretty much tells him, don't move, I have a gun, which was actually pepper spray. And I was also thinking, I'm like, wait a second. What if he's just lying? He's recording the guy on video saying like, "Hey, this is, he's recording him saying like, I'm the one that killed him." I'm like, dude, shut up. He might be having like some sort of phone recording your ass. Again, I don't know why Tetsuo just told the truth right then and there to the dad. His guilty conscience definitely clicked in. I'm like, if you were lying the entire time to try to get out of this situation and freaking keep your family safe, well then, dude, why now? Would you just tell the dad, yeah, it was me that did it? Now, again, the guy already knew that Tetsuo was lying the first time when they first came across each other because he didn't reveal his full name. He just came with a made-up name and he made a point about that. But even then, and maybe that would have led into the point like, dude, you're lying. It's clearly obvious. But regardless, I'm like, at least freaking try. And if he's like, please, you gotta be... And he's like, I don't believe it one bit. That's when you say, okay, then shit, fine, I did it. You know. But he just easily just gave it out. Again, you can put in the comment section why you think he just told the truth. But the moment he said that, I'm guessing he was at that point where he was willing to die. And just say, alright, these guys are probably gonna leave my family alone. I'll just die, and he's gonna go a separate way. But no, this guy just starts talking crazy. He's like, man, please. You know, don't you remember what I said in the bar? I said, not only would if I find the killer, I'm gonna kill the said person that killed him, I'm also gonna kill his family too. And pretty much, he goes on this monologue saying of the detestable, disgusting things he is going to do to his wife and his daughter, which, mind you, I probably should not be saying this on the YouTube platform because that stuff would probably get this video blocked for just what it said. But you go watch that scene. Oh my goodness. He was dropping down some very disturbing things saying like, listen, all I'm just going to say is he threw in the R word and pretty much saying like, I'm going to make you watch it all happen and your wife and your daughter are just going to be, you know, they're gonna pretty much be assaulted by men and he's gonna be there watching it. But I don't want to talk about any more of that, but that was absolutely disgusting. Only to then say, oh yeah, we're gonna like freaking skin their skin off their thing and then we're gonna cut off their heads. And I'm just like, Jesus! I'm like, holy heck! And then he's like, yeah, we're gonna put their decapitated heads right next to you so you can be with your family one last time and then we'll kill you. And I'm just like, oh, this is one crazy MFer. He needs to go to jail. No. He doesn't need to go to jail. He just needs to die. All this because of his son. Now, again, you know, the guy has I'll say this. The guy has every right to maybe kill Tetsuo for killing his son. Now, I do not believe, you know, he has every right to do what he was literally saying what he was going to do to Kasen and Reika. Like, that's too damn far. You're crossing the limit right then and there, and Tetsuo then has every right to kick his ass and try to beat him up. Because at that point, if you have a guy threatening your family saying, oh, I'm going to do all these detestable things to your wife and your daughter, along with another gang of men from the organization, what the hell, you're just going to be like, yeah, sure, I'll just let it all happen and see that happen. Right then and there. See my wife get assaulted. See my daughter get assaulted. Right then and there. No. I'm going to protect my family. So he started fighting back. But the thing is, he gets hit with a pepper spray. And I'm just like, oh, no, he's not going to be able to see. But the thing is, we see him, Matori calling. Now, we find out he's calling the main boss, probably to tell him, like, hey, Tetsuo was the killer. I went over to the girl's house and he said that he killed the daughter. You know, he killed my son. It wasn't Kyotaro, pretty much. But that epically fails because even though Tetsuo was blinded because of the is blinded because of the pepper spray, he manages to fight back, and somehow he wills himself to pretty much keep his eyes open a bit. I know that shit must burn, and the fight is going on and everything. Eventually it gets to the point where pepper spray residue, because when Matori sprays up, the residue actually comes into his eyes, so he got pepper spray and things like that. Now, in the meantime, the one organization member who's in the car gets a call from the boss, and he's like, what the hell's going on, Matori? You tried calling me. And pretty much the dude's like, hey, listen, you know, he told me to wait in the car, but he told me to go home. And pretty much the boss is like, because Matori, I guess in a way, is like the main guy that's pretty much paying and having the organization do what they want. You know, the boss pretty much is like, all right, we just got to listen to what Matori is. But all of a sudden, the crook sees a police cop car come in the background. Now, the reason why a cop car showed up, the people under Reika's apartment house is like hearing bumping going around and everything and stuff like that. And this is a brutal fight. Like, freaking Tetsuo is getting like freaking blood all over him, and then freaking, you know, got like a big bulging black eye like thing right then and there. But the people under is like, wait, they're fighting, and the guy tells his girlfriend like, hey, call the police, pretty much. So that's how the police pull up. Now, maybe when Nobuto was with Reika, they would always hear this going on. They just never did anything about it. And maybe, I guess, this was like the breaking point, saying like, okay, what the hell? Or maybe it had to do something with the fact that they overheard Tetsuo pretty much doing what he was doing to Nobuto in the first episode. So that's kind of the thing. But the cops are here. The episode pretty much ends off on a cliffhanger, going to the last episode of what I think might be the show. Is that clearly Tetsuo is getting choked out by Matori using this extension cord. And pretty much Tetsuo was trying to say, like, listen, I'm just doing what I'm doing to protect my family. Even you have to understand that's what any father would do to protect his family. And pretty much, you know, Matori's like, well, who gives a crap? You killed my son, you took my family from me, blah, 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 blah. So in a way, both characters have every right to do what they're doing to each other. Matori obviously is trying to kill Tetsuo for killing his son. In his eyes, that's the only way he can get payback. Now, again, I do believe that trying to involve Reika and Kasen into this and doing those detestable things like he said he was going to do was going a little bit too far. And that's why Tetsuo has the reasoning to protect Reika and Kasen, as well as the fact that he felt like, you know, listen, Reika was in danger with Nobuto, like, being around her pretty much. So that's kind of the thing. The episode ends off on a cliffhanger as he's getting choking out. It looks like, you know, his eyes are rolling in the back of his head pretty much. But I think the next episode, we're definitely getting to a point where the police are going to break the door open and they're going to see Matori choking out Tetsuo. And they're either going to shoot Matori dead, or they're going to stop Matori and bring him in and arrest him pretty much for assaulting Tetsuo. And Tetsuo will get away scot-free. Now, again, I feel like, like I said earlier, only a few things could happen. He might have one more interaction with Kyotaro, which, in order to protect his family, really then. Or maybe Kyotaro ends up killing the organization from the inside, killing the boss. Now the two heads are down, and then he goes over to Tetsuo's place to maybe finish him off. And in order to freaking save his family 100% and have things go to normal, well then sadly, more than likely, he's gonna more than likely have to kill Kyotaro. Now the question is, will Tetsuo survive the process? Because I could definitely see it where Tetsuo ends up, in order to save his family, he may also have to die taking down Kyotaro to do it. Now that would be a very sad ending, especially even for Reika. As much as I do not like the character of Reika, I think she's kind of a dumb girl in this entire show. It would be pretty emotional to see how pretty much she finds out that her dad was doing all this behind the scenes so she could be safe. So, you know, that is. But another solid episode of My Home Hero. It's going to be very interesting to see where the show is going to go in the final episode. And yeah, so if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of My Home Hero, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more My Home Hero content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day. Peace.